What's up, Raider Nation? Welcome to the TRU Raider Podcast. I'm your host, TRU Raider. I'm running late, man, but here we are. Watch party for day one, round one of the 2025 NFL Draft. I got to tell you guys, man, I'm starting to get pretty excited. Right now, the Tennessee Titans are on the clock, and so we're going to see how this plays out. Right now, they got 4 minutes and 50 seconds left for that first overall pick. And they're taking up the whole time on this, man. I'm not really sure why. Right now, I'm just on YouTube. I'm not doing TikTok, so it's just YouTube and Facebook. So it's just the two. So the pick is in right now. Pick is in. I guess there were a couple of teams that called trying to trade up to number one, but it was a no-go. They held on to their pick. I'm pulling up some stuff that was going on. That way we can talk in between picks. Let's go, Nation. Let's go, Nation. I got to tell you guys, man, I am Genty or bust right now, man. It's been a process for me to kind of get to that. But what it really comes down to is I think that Genty is the player that can make the – I think Genty is the player that can make the biggest impact on the Raiders in year one. Oh, man. Let's go, let's go. Titans coming out with that pick. I don't know, man. I don't know if you guys saw all that stuff that was happening with Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll on Twitter, man, or X, but he's funny, man. He's putting all kinds of smoke out there. And actually, I gotta keep checking up on that. Tennessee Titans select Cam Ward. Big shocker, you guys. Nobody's surprised about that, but it is official. I think there was a lot of speculation leading up to the draft. There was, on if that's what they were actually going to do, and we have it for sure now. So that's good, man. That's good. I'll pull up Pete Carroll's X real quick, man. What is going on with this dude, man? The Jaguars have moved up from 5 to 2. Jaguars have moved up from number 5 to number 2. Gunsmoke in the building was good, man. One of the model Raiders. That's crazy, man. Jaguars moving up to number 2. I think that's pretty good for us because there was a lot of speculation that the Jaguars were gonna draft Genty in front of us, right? And if you're moving up to number 2, it's not for Genty. It's got to be for Travis Hunter, man. So we're gonna see how this plays out. I'm gonna see if I can share screen on this real quick while they're talking about all this. So Pete Carroll on his X account, right? And we're gonna go to the first one. First one, 2 hours ago. Pete Carroll posted draft clues on the way. And this is Will Smith from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And some of the things to look at right here is, for one, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, the family, his uncle and all of them that he lives with, their last name is Banks, right? And so Calvin Banks has been rumored to be the offensive lineman that we're going to pick at number 6, right? I don't really think that we would do that. Hold up. So it costs, they swapped, let me see, 5th overall pick. So they swapped first, the Jaguars and the Browns. And then It went by too fast, man. They took in a haul, though. All right, let's go back to talking about this. The second post was this scene from The Office, right? And that was very interesting to me, right? Because we have this scene from The Office, and somebody posted. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Oh, there's another one. Dang, he's been busy right now. I'm gonna pull it up because I have it downloaded, so I'm just gonna pull it up real quick. Now let's see if I can pull up the right one. Yep, pulled it up. All right. So it's saying Raiders trading back with Chicago, huh? Because that episode where they did that was season 6, episode 10. And there's been a lot of rumors about the Bears wanting to move up to get Ashton Genty. So that's clue number 2. Clue number 2, man. I think that's crazy. They're interviewing Cam Ward right now. So let's go back to Pete Carroll's X account, man. So after all of that, let's see. Oh, that's some old shit. How come this isn't in order, bro? I never really messed with X, and so that's going to be clear. Okay, draft clue number 1 was this scene, right? From Sinners. And it's Michael B. Jordan, and then this other guy, I forget his first name, but his last name is Banks, right? And so that could be something to do with it, right? Pete Carroll is funny, man. He is funny. He's probably having the time of his life with this. Second draft clue was Snoop Dogg. What that connection is, I have no idea. I have no idea. You guys in the chat, man, you guys let me know if you know anything about the speculation on these, bro, because I am lost. The pick is in for Jacksonville. So the third draft clue was this So Fresh, So Clean Outcast. Teddy Pendergrass, cooler than Freddie Jackson, sipping a milkshake in a snowstorm. I'm telling you guys, man, I've Googled some stuff and I've like, look, I can't figure out what he's talking about. Clue number 4. I don't know why I'm not getting sound, man. The bullseye. Draft clue number 5, John Cena. Guys, I'm hoping that you guys have some stuff. Raider 7528, what's up? What's up? How you doing, man? Just turn the draft on. I know. Remember, we were supposed to be at pick number 1, but no, we decided to give it all up, man. So they better deliver right now. Straight up, bro. I'm gonna be pissed if we do something dumb, like get Banks at number 6. So John Cena, I don't know what John Cena has to do with anything. And then I saw down here there was another one, man. Where was it? Oh no, this is old shit. And I guess in the past with the Seahawks, he would do this kind of thing. I didn't even know that, right? And I guess that it actually had some kind of connection to something. Like people actually took those riddles and were able to connect it to the things that the Seahawks actually did in the draft. There we go. Commissioners on the stage. Who do you think that the Jaguars moved up for, you guys? I'm very, very curious to see what this ends up being, man, because of course it's probably Travis Hunter, right? But can you imagine if they moved up for Shedeur Sanders right now? from 5 to number 2 for Shedeur Sanders. Because if that's what happens, all of a sudden, all this other talent starts falling down the board a little bit further to number 6. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to do something stupid. Can't believe the Jaguars traded all that up, man. That's crazy. I mean, but at pick number 5, because they don't really need a running back, right? I don't know why everybody's saying that Jacksonville is going to try to pull a running back because, like, they have a pretty good running back. They have a lot of other better things to do, and I think that getting a Travis Hunter fills a lot of holes. But at the same time, they traded away a bunch of draft capital and move up to get him. So even though he's able, I'm not even going to say that out loud, even though he's able to be a receiver and defensive back, I don't know, man. It's crazy to give up all that draft capital. 2 firsts, a second, and something else. Travis Hunter off the board. There goes Hunter. There goes Hunter. He's in a pink suit, man. That's what's up. I think it's crazy, like when there's guys that go high in the draft, but they're not there. They're at home with family, and I get it, right? Wanting to be there with family, but like, especially with the NIL deals and stuff like that, like usually these guys have the money to fly their family out, right? But regardless of, they're getting picked, right? I mean, I don't come from money, bro, but if my kid was getting drafted in the draft, you best believe if I got to put it on a credit card or what's it called, Uplift or one of that, a firm or, like I'm going to be there. So I don't know, man. I think it's crazy because it's like you got to be there, right? You got to have that experience. Crazy, man. Number 2 overall, Travis Hunter. Let's see if Pete Carroll posted anything else, man. You gotta watch out for this dude. He doesn't have a lot of time to drop these clues. I don't know how many clues he's gonna give out though. So he dropped the Snoop Dogg, and there's a thing on his X from Snoop Dogg from August of 2023 where it's saying Pete Carroll coming soon to quarterback on Netflix. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, I think that Travis Hunter would have been an amazing pickup for us, right? Because we do need a next receiver, right? And then we also do need help in the corner. So to get somebody that's going to be able to do both, and especially under Pete Carroll, I think would have been absolutely amazing. But I'm really glad that we didn't give up a ton of draft capital to move up to do that, man. I think the only reason for us to trade up would be to get a quarterback. And at this point, I don't think we're going quarterback. Is Renfro back? So right now, Hunter Renfro is not back. He did have a visit with the Raiders a couple of weeks ago, but that didn't really kind of pan out. It didn't turn into anything, and there's been no news about it. I have a feeling that if Hunter Renfro actually signs with the Raiders, it's going to be after the draft, right? They're going to wait and see kind of who they pick up, and they're going to go through the motions, and then Hunter Renfro is probably going to be available. They're going to pick him up, right? Tyler Lockett's off the board. So they're, a couple of the options that they are already looking at are kind of disappearing. So I think Hunter Renfro is a decent idea. I would like to see that, right? Because Hunter Renfro, what do you really lose, right? I mean, from my understanding at this point, since he didn't play last year, I think you could bring him in for real cheap. And if you could bring in a Hunter Renfrow for cheap, because the biggest problem with Hunter Renfrow is that Dave Ziegler and Josh McDaniels way overpaid him because he had over 100 catches and 1,000 yards receiving, right? And that only happened because of all the Henry Ruggs stuff and all. Darren Waller was hurt, and we ended up in this shit situation where Derek Carr just threw it to Hunter Renfrow the whole time because he doesn't know how to use more than one receiver in a season. We could use his IQ smart football guy. You talking about Renfrow? Not to mention that Christian Wilkins is his best friend, so he probably wants to go and be on the team with his best friend. I get that. But he still has a lot of value to offer. Trade ups to top 2 for non-QB. Looks like in 97, we traded up for Darrell Russell. That's crazy. Man, this coffee way too hot, dude. I got home from work, man. I was like trying to make some coffee. I looked at the time. I was like, shit, the draft already started. But it's all good, man. We here. Yeah, Renfrow. Yeah, I want to bring Renfrow in for sure. But like, what was he making? Like $15 million a year or something? And if it was a situation where we'd have to pay him that, like that's a pass, dude. I don't want to do that. But I don't think that we can just get out of that either, right? Or did we already get out of that? Damn. I gotta know now. Giants are looking happy right now. Okay, so we did cut ties with Hunter Renfrow and saved $8 million. So yeah. Abdul Carter, number 3 off the board. Having no surprises right now. No surprises. I did think that there was a possibility that they got Shedeur Sanders, but to pass up on Abdul Carter, who's listed as, being potentially the best player in the entire draft. I mean, when you can pick him up without even moving, there was some concern over a bone injury on his foot, but I guess it came out that he wasn't going to have to get surgery and that it was healing good. So I don't think they're going to end up with a Tyree Wilson. Yeah, dude, that's going to be a good pickup, man. And I didn't really watch a whole lot of tape on Carter because, and I watched a little bit on everybody, right? That's coming into the draft, but I knew that we weren't going to move up to get Abdul Carter, and I knew he wasn't going to fall. Same with like Travis Hunter. I already knew that we weren't going to end up with him. Now, I did watch some tape because it was fun to watch, but that's about it, That's crazy, man. See Pete Carroll, any more clues? Any more clues? No more clues. I don't know if we're going to get any more clues, man. And I'm not being able to figure out the connection between all these clues. See, I don't really mess with X. Like, I have an X account and I like post some shorts to it, but like I never really look at X, so I don't really understand it. Like, it says there's 60 comments on this, right? And I click on it and it only wants to let me comment. It doesn't want to let me see the comments. I don't understand that, man. Yeah, Raider 7528, no Sounders for New York. I mean, it's starting to look like if that's what we were tanking for, we won't have to do it, right? Gunsmoke, who we picking? And JB Alcantar is saying it's Genty. And I think it's Genty or bust. So we about to find out. So to let you guys know that are in the chat, if you guys are ahead of me, let me know, man. Right now, the Giants just picked. They're talking. So New England's on the board. And I don't know how much time is left. It's not showing. But are you guys like way ahead of me or something? I know that there's other like content creators that like get the picks way early and stuff, but instead of like listening to that and then reporting super early, I figured let's watch the draft together. Hopefully we're pretty in sync on time. I know during the watch parties for games, there's a lot of times where Gunsmoke is always ahead. You know, I honestly think that we're going Genty, but I thought it was weird that the Raiders channel, like on their like pre-draft show that they put out, they were talking about Ashton Genty like it was already a done deal. And that was weird to me because that's got to be intentional, right? You're not just going to like have your team speculating on like, oh, who the Raiders might pick. Like you have them putting out a narrative on purpose. Gunsmoke always trying to delay so you don't spoil. I know, man, you always ahead, dude. Crazy. It's because I'm like in Podunk, New Mexico, you know? It is what it is. I think that I don't know, man, because Patriots, they could go running back. They really could. But really, ideally, they would go offensive line, right? They really, really need offensive line help. Yeah, see, you in Bakersfield, California, man. California's always ahead on everything. And then you guys got like actual like fiber optic internet and shit. I'm over here using that satellite shit. It's crazy, man. Crazy. I don't know, man. I'm starting to get kind of nervous, I gotta say. Because, like, all right, there's several players that I'd be happy with if we end up with at pick number 6, right? Because if we end up with Mon Membao, I'm gonna be like, okay, I get that. It makes sense, right? It's not my favorite pick, but it makes sense. If we end up with Shador Sanders, it's like, okay, this dude's probably not gonna even play for a year, maybe 2. But I get it if Tom Brady has done enough work with him during that mentorship to actually see like, hey, he is the guy. Okay, I could see that. You know, I could also see Pete Carroll and John Spytek being like, well, Tom Brady got his guy in the first round, so our jobs are safe. I could get that. Yeah, live action, How to Train Your Dragon. My kid is all about that, man. He's funny, dude. He's got this joke that he made up, and he's like, hey, how do you train a dragon? I told him how. He said, you just gotta wing it. Yeah, dude. He came up with that joke when he was like 7. Here in Rosarito. Is that in California? What is going on here? Hold up. Crazy, man. Cats always get stuck in this room and then they like tear at the carpet trying to get under the door and stuff. So I installed a little door that way they could just get out. And then it's like they don't know how to use it. It's crazy, man. Yeah, little man got jokes. He's funny, dude. I gotta say, my son is funny, which is like, I don't know, man. He's all about puns and dad jokes, and it's like, all right, man, that's cool. It's funny because my daughter, man, she's older than him, and she used to always like try to be funny when she was little, and she'd tell like the worst jokes ever. Like they didn't even make sense, and it's like, you know, like we want to be supportive, but we don't want to be like, you know, lying to her and being like, oh yeah, those are funny, you know. And it's like, how do we kind of like help encourage her while being honest with her at the same time. It's like a whole thing. And then, when my son is like, he just got natural jokes, man. He's funny, dude. But it's funny, right? Because he's really funny when he's like just kind of being himself. But when he's like, oh, I'm getting attention from being funny, and he starts trying to be funny, nah, man, he starts to miss. All right, so you're on the Mexico border town in San Diego. Okay. That's legit, man. I mean, you guys been getting way better weather than us, man. It's like can't make up its mind if it's spring or winter or what. Will Campbell to the Patriots, man. I don't know what happened to my thing. It just glitched out, and then all of a sudden it jumped. The pick was already in, but I am very happy about that. I mean, it's going as predicted down the board. Dang, dude. Am I coming in clear? Because, like, this thing's freezing up on me, man. I'm going to hard close this thing out and go back in. That's crazy. So, Will Campbell to the Patriots. Now, Will Campbell, I mean, he's supposed to be the best tackle in the draft, right? But there's so many reports about him having short arms, and people think that he's actually going to be a guard in the NFL. Which, if that's the case, man, you don't want to take a guard at number 5 or number 4 overall. Like, that's just bad value, right? So, I mean, that tells me that they believe that he's going to be that dude. Let me see, bro. Let me see. I don't know, you guys. Getting nervous, bro. Nervous. I'm telling you, man, I got attached to Genti, dude, and I was trying not to, man. All leading up, I was like, no, I'm not gonna get attached to nobody. Let me see. Oh shit. So what do we got? We got Mason Graham, Ashton Genti, Jalen Walker, Membao, Will Johnson, Barron. Man, I like seeing that, man. When these dudes like this is a huge like the probably the biggest moment of their life, right? Of course, the biggest moment at that point, but it might be the biggest moment for everything except for probably the birth of children, but that's some big stuff, man. I'm gonna fight and die to protect them with everything I got. Yeah, see, Renee, Genti and Membo are available to us, right? And so if those are the two guys that Spytek and Carroll are actually looking at, it's like we got our choice of the litter. Shador Sanders is still out there. And I'm telling like I would not be surprised if the Browns go and get Shador Sanders right now. I mean, to pull in all that haul for trading back from number 2 and then still be able to pick up a Shador Sanders. That's what they're saying too. Damn. That man sounds like Gump. Probably a good dude. He seemed like a good dude, man. You can usually tell, man. Like it doesn't take too much, and that's a big thing that John Spytek and Pete Carroll were talking about. Is like it's not just about how they play, but who they are, and drafting players like that has always been a success for them. Thank you, pretty lady. You want some shrimp? Dude. Genty, Graham, Walker, Warren, Loveland, Limbo. They don't even have Shador Sanders on that list. That's crazy. I think that for the Browns to get Genty right now is gonna piss me off, bro. I'm telling you. Telling you. The pick is in. Pick is in, bro. Gino does need a wide receiver, and that's true. I'm not sold on T-Mac, though, man. Mason Graham to the Browns. Let's go. Let's go. So you guys, if once the pick comes in, I think I'm probably gonna pull up TikTok too, just to get them in the mix, man. You know, YouTube's where I'm loyal, man, but it's nice to kind of mix it up a bit, especially we only got like 7 in the room, kind of get the chat going. Let's see. It's going to be Genty. Renee, if it's not Genty, I'm going to be mad. How can you have such a generational talent sitting on the board available to you without having to move at all and then just be like, nah, we're going to get Kelvin Banks. We're going to get, I don't know, man. That nasty work. So now Myles Garrett has some help. Here we go. Let's see who we go with. Dude, my thing froze up and it went back to now Mason Graham is just getting picked again. It's crazy, dude. We picking a kicker. Watch. I mean, with the way that our kicker's been lately, bro, he's been messing up this last season. Sonia, what's up? How you doing? Good to see you. Glad you're here. They shouldn't even give him time to talk. Run up to that podium. Ashton Genty like your life depends on it. I don't know about you guys, man, but these first 5 picks have just flown by for me. That's crazy. That's crazy. That sucks that my thing jumped back though. It's because I'm using NFL Plus to watch that shit, man. I mean, at this point, it's got to be a no-brainer, right? Like, it's got to be a no-brainer. Yeah, I like the idea of Mason Graham and Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett needs some help out there, They will trade it. We might trade back. We might trade back. Which, if we get the right price, I could see, okay, we trade back, we get Omarion Hampton or Trayvon Henderson. But if we're not being offered enough, like if we like trade back like 4 or 5 for like an extra third, I'm gonna be pissed. Ashton Genty, bro. That's got to be the pick. Just like last year, like we picked up Brock Bowers, and it was like, what? But like he ended up, I mean, he was the best player available, right? Sonia's saying the pick is in. On my screen, it's not in. It's not in yet on mine. So you guys are probably going to know before me. Yeah, I got set back like a whole minute, and then Gunsmoke was already ahead of me. It is what it is, man. I'm getting way too caffeinated for somebody that's got to work tomorrow, man. Is that it, you guys? I'm still on the Mason Graham interview, man. Is that truth? I mean, I'm not spoiling it for anybody if I say it out loud, bro. But you guys are saying it's Genty. That's crazy, bro. That is crazy. We have a run game, baby. Vegas took 3 minutes to get their pick. It's a no brainer, you guys. That is absolute no brainer. I gotta see this, man. Sorry for the dead air, man, but it's barely showing it right now. Let's go. Let's go. Bro, I'm so excited right now. So excited. Holy crap. I mean, you pair him with Raheem Mostert, and then, I mean, there's still even Dylan Lowby. There's some other players there. But that's what's going to make Geno Smith succeed. And like everybody was saying, oh, you can't get him because our offensive line, blah, blah, blah. Our offensive line is pretty good. But when you have no running game and you have Gardner Minshew as your quarterback, of course your offensive line is going to look like crap. Of course, all their ratings are going to go down. Having a Geno Smith who's mobile in the pocket, can get around, and then you have the threat of Ashton Genty and Brock Bowers on the same squad. Like, that's just damn. That is crazy. Man, I'm hyped right now. I'm hyped right now. So like the only worries that I have about Ashton Genty really is like his the mileage that he got this last season, right? That mileage is like it's a big deal. You know, he had like 300 and what carries, like 370 some carries. It's like a lot. And that is another thing, right? Chip Kelly has a creative run game, and you pair that up with Ashton Genty, our offensive line is going to look better because of that as well. It's crazy. 185 rushing yards per game. Now that's playing against college players, right? And you're playing against a lot of guys that aren't going to the league, so it's going to be different. But That's funny, bro. Let me see, man. I'm gonna pull TikTok into the conversation for a little bit, you guys, but then I'm gonna have to go pretty soon. But I do want to bring them into the conversation, man. Let's see. Hold up, real quick. Yeah, man, I'm feeling like a boomer right now trying to put this shit together. That's another thing, man. Is you think I don't understand X, man? I don't understand TikTok for shit. But I try to use it, man. I try to use it. Trying to get that reach out there. Cool. Let me set this up. Let's get going. So, what do you guys think, man? What are your guys' general feelings right now? What's going on over here? Sonia saying, been out of the NFL loop. What happened with Shador Sanders? Did Papa D Sanders oversell his boy? I think that you're exactly right with that. There was a lot of things that went bad for him. I think a lot of his interviews went really bad. That was something that was getting me, and I didn't even see a ton of his interviews, right? But I guess his combine interviews were bad, and whenever I would see him interview on camera, I'm like, I don't like the way this dude talks, man. And like I always share about that stuff, man. Like it's important to me, like how somebody actually interviews, and so I think that that had a big role to play in it. And also, like, I think he got overhyped and he could. I think that honestly, the Saints are probably going to take him. And actually, I feel kind of weird jumping out of the loop on who's getting picked, but I'll pick up the pieces of that later, man. I was watching it on my phone, but I wanted to get TikTok in this, man. Mr. Magoo saying, let's go. I got to tell you guys, I'm hyped right now, right? Gunsmoke says I am happy. That is good, Gunsmoke. I like to see you happy. Raider Ryan in the building saying, Nation, let's go. Dude, I'm telling you, man, I am so excited right now. So excited because thank you for the heart me, Mr. Magoo. And the rose. Thanks for the gifts, man, for sure. But like, just for us to get Ashton Genty absolutely changes this entire offense. Now, like, I'm not even like when we picked up Geno Smith, I was like, this is like our big splash. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about all that, but when it really comes down to is Geno Smith is a quarterback. He can throw the ball. He's mobile in the pocket, and he can be a very good game manager, which I don't know why people talk bad about game manager, right? But I mean, the way that I look at it is you want somebody that's going to manage the game appropriately. And so you give this guy a weapon like a Brock Bowers and a Jacoby Myers. And I don't know what we're going to do about that other receiver one, but I don't think that really matters because now we got Ashton Genty, right? You put him with Raheem Mostert in that backfield, and they're going to be tearing up the run game. Our offensive line is going to look better. Just having the threat of Ashton Genty out there is going to mean that Geno Smith is going to complete more passes. Can you imagine that play action with Ashton Genty? Teams are going to be shook, man. They're going to be really, really looking out for this kid. And I am just excited. Daniel Carlson is going to have to give up the number 2 now. You might be onto something over there. No one's saying we need linemen now. We actually have a pretty good line. And getting Andre James out, getting Garner Minshew out, getting Zamir White out, and all of a sudden, our offensive line is going to look pretty good. Colton Miller, there's this whole thing like he's not at voluntary training camp and blah, blah, blah. He's holding out. I don't think he's holding out, man. I think that they're just waiting until after the draft because they wanted to put it out in the universe that they might go with a tackle. I bet you he gets a deal done by next week. And so Colton Miller, even with getting a new deal, is still going to be good value. I guarantee that we have tons of cap space. It's going to be worth paying Colton Miller. Yeah, he started off last year, and last year I was saying that we should have traded him to get Jaden Daniels, right? Because I was worried about that shoulder injury. And sure as shit, he came into the season and his shoulder was slowing him down, and he was giving up a lot of sacks, and it looked nasty work, right? And then as the season went on, Colton Miller got healthy. Because he missed the whole offseason and several games, right? Or not several games. I mean, I can't think of the word right now. He missed all of that, the OTAs. He missed all, like, everything, right? And so he comes in, his shoulder's weak, and it took several games for him to get in the swing of things. But once he did, he was actually back to his solid self. So you take that. Jordan Meredith came in at left guard when we got rid of Cody Whitehair finally, and Jordan Meredith played his ass off. He looked super good for the silver and black, and I was super happy with the way that looked. And then we, you take Andre James out of center because he's a liability. If your center is getting beat, then your left guard and your right guard are doing bad, and by default, then the tackles, then they end up being a weak point, right? And so it needs to be solid all the way through. You have Jackson Powers Johnson as center. Dude, I'm telling you, man, it's going to be insane. And then you have Dylan Parham, who he's a great guard. Dylan Parham is a great guard, but being next to Andre James, he was having to pick up too much slack, and it was honestly making him look bad. And then DJ Glaze, I mean, the rumors is that that Pete Carroll and Spytek are really sold on DJ Glaze. And there's a lot of good that can come out of DJ Glaze. He's young. He's got good measurables. And he actually played pretty damn good. He actually really beat the expectations that I think any of us had for him. So you give these guys a solid running game. You give these guys a quarterback that can actually play. All of a sudden, this O-line is going to look solid. Now, I'm not going to say that we have a top 5 O-line, maybe not even a top 10 O-line, right? But we ain't going to be in the bottom 20, and we're probably going to be somewhere in the top 15 at least, right? Now, clip this, right? And if I'm wrong, man, and we're getting smoked during the season, Ashton Genty is averaging, 1.5 yards per carry, and it's looking like garbage, and Geno Smith is getting sacked constantly. Call me out, man. But I am convinced that this offensive line is going to be able to do what we need them to do. Now we just got to see what we end up doing with these next picks, man, because really we need a corner. We need a linebacker. I want to see us get Carson Schweschinger, because that dude he's a beast, right? Or because I don't think Jahad Campbell's going to be available in the second round. And so if we pick up a good linebacker, go defense with this pick, I think that's going to be our best route. But if we go offense, I could see us getting receiver in the second round. I could also see us going with Booker. I think at this point, now that we've gotten Ashton Genty, I think running back is off the table. And I think that we're going to be in a position where we're looking to either do offensive line, receiver, or corner or linebacker. I think that's where we're going to go in the second round. And I know I just said, like, we're going to pick anything in the second round, but I think that those are the positions that we're really going to focus on, because, they kept saying that we're going to get Mason Graham or we're going to get a defensive tackle. We don't need a defensive tackle. Christian Wilkins still has 3 years left on his deal. Adam Butler just signed a 3-year deal. Malcolm Kuntz is the question mark. Same with Tyree Wilson. So an edge, I could see an edge maybe, which I would love to pick up Jack Sawyer in the 3rd or 4th round. Let him learn under Max Crosby this year and under Malcolm Kuntz, and then have him take over for Kuntz. And of course, we got Max Crosby, man. So there's a lot going on here. I got to tell you guys, man, I am absolutely thrilled right now. I am thrilled. We actually did the right thing. We didn't mess it up. We didn't mess it up, man. So, look, I know on TikTok, man, I barely came on. I've already been live for an hour over here on YouTube, you guys. And I could just beat this Ashton Genty thing to death, right? But tomorrow I got to work, right? So I'm not going to be live for the draft. I'll probably put out some videos on our picks. I'm hoping to be able to go live tomorrow night. That way we can talk about it. We'll see how things kind of shake out, man. But Nation, I'm so friggin' happy, bro. There's just been too many years where it's like we chose who and we did the right thing, man. We did the right thing. So, like always, Nation, I love you guys, and I will catch you guys tomorrow. All right, later.